Hey guys, it's Jennifer Don Gabiola, and I felt inspired to do a Q&A today on visibility since a lot of new people have joined our group, and I've noticed a lot of comments around struggling with being more visible. So I thought it'd be helpful. I just wanted to be of service and offer some extra support to see how I can help around that. I've been in business for over 8 years, and so I understand the struggle is real around being visible as an introverted entrepreneur. So I've received a wide range of questions. So hopefully these um, uh, this Q&A session will be helpful for you. And if you have any questions, like if you watch the replay later, um, you can just tag me in the group and I can come back and answer your question. Okay, so let's talk about visibility. So I have several questions, but when it comes to visibility, I just really encourage you to keep attuned to who you are. Keep your focus on the inside. I'm going to go more in depth on that, but that's going to help you manage your energy instead of feeling like you're seeking validation or you have fears around being more visible because of how people are going to respond to you, because that's like a common theme I've noticed for these questions. So I just wanted to encourage you to, the more you keep your focus on you and feeling deeply aligned and connected with you, is going to help you to feel confident, to be consistent in a consistent and sustainable way. So it manages your energy. Okay, so let's get started. So the first question I received was, what do you do if you're waiting for opportunities to be invited to be visible? What do you do if you're like waiting and you're not getting like invited to share more about you and your business? So I was tuning into this question, and I feel like it's really important, even though it would be nice to be invited, I feel like the invitations will come when you are consistently visible. That way people can associate you, you become top of mind when people see you and associate you with a certain expertise, like in my case, branding, design, personal presence, and style for introverts. Like, because I can't consistently speak from that space, people associate me with helping introverted leaders, own their quiet voice and their fierce power to build brands that make a big impact. Of course, I'll share, videos here and there that are not specifically around branding, because I do feel like it's important to share multiple sides of you, so you express how dimensional you are as a human being. But for the most part, it's important that you are clear on communicating what your expertise is and how you feel called to help. So as far as like waiting, it's really important that you have to own your voice first and recognize the value of your voice before anyone else can. That way, what I realized is that the more I share, and the more I share when I feel really inspired, like and lit up to share, I know instinctively and energetically there are people out there that are ready to receive my message. So keep that in mind, that your voice matters. And when you feel that divine inspiration to share, you don't have to share it in that very moment. I like to jot down the topic like in my phone, but I like to share it when it feels alive, because if it feels alive, that again, there's people out there that are ready to receive it and hear your message. So another tip I want to share for this question about waiting for opportunities to be invited to be more visible is just be aligned with yourself and allow the right opportunities to come to you, because the goal for really putting yourself out there in general, this goes for all the questions, is to create resonance, energetic resonance. The more you're tapped in and tuned into yourself, the more the right people are going to really feel you, because energy doesn't lie. And so the right people will feel you beyond what you say, but beyond your words. So it's really important that you give yourself permission to feel deeply tapped in and tuned into yourself, and then share consistently from a place of clarity and confidence and service. And you do that consistently, then the right people will be drawn to you in an organic way. So the next question was around networking. How do you network as an introvert? Because I know that can be a struggle. I personally don't like the word networking. It feels kind of cold. And the networking events that I have attended in the past felt very cold and transactional. Like people would just come up to me and say, hey, what's your name? What do you do? And then just like shove a business card in my face. And to me, that doesn't feel natural. Like to me, when I develop relationships, it needs to feel organic, like I'm building real friendships. So I learned this tip from, I think it was Susan Cain, the author of Quiet. She said for like networking online, but especially in person, don't feel the pressure that you have to meet everyone in the room. Just set an intention to meet one or two kindred spirits where you feel deep resonance with them. Like you really resonate with their vibe and what they're saying, and then cultivate a relationship that will last beyond the event and organically see how it's going to unfold. That to me feels doable and manageable, and it doesn't feel overwhelming because you can feel if you have resonance with somebody. And what's also helpful is like just breaking the ice, is just sharing a genuine compliment with someone. Like, don't make something up if you don't mean it, but if you, let's say, see someone and you really like their energy and you like what they're wearing, just say, I really like your dress. And then most people will open up and start talking and give people the opportunity to just share more about themselves. And then people enjoy sharing about themselves. So the more that you listen and are engaged, then they're going to naturally want to know more about you. And then you can see how things organically develop from there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, but the whole thing about networking, it needs to feel organic. That's really a key. Networking in person and online. Okay, another question I had was, how do I open up and share? Because I have fear of making mistakes, being judged, and feeling left out. So what I wanted to share around this is it's completely normal to feel fear around being judged and criticized. Of course, that's like, no one wants that. But what I've learned on my journey is that you are not your past. So even though you may have like some deep fears around being rejected, being judged and left out, I encourage you to reframe your old stories around that so they serve you now. It's important that you validate yourself so you're not so attached to how others respond to you. What I do is, before I share a live or any sort of like, whenever I am visible in general, I set an intention and I pray for the clarity and the confidence to share what needs to be shared, that God would use me in the spirit of service to share what needs to be shared. And then I focus more on that message rather than focusing on how I'm being perceived, because at the end of the day, I have no control over how people are going to respond to me. I know that my intention is good. My intention is to serve. And that's all I can, that's the only thing that it gives me peace. You know what I mean? Like I can't constantly seek other people's validation because that's a losing battle, So it's just really important that you accept yourself and not judge yourself, because I find that life actually reflects what you believe. So when I started to ease up on myself and relax and just share authentically, like I would be talking with just a good girlfriend, that's when I started to notice people would engage with me more because they could feel that I was more comfortable with myself and comfortable in my skin and confident in what I was sharing. And so they could feel that authenticity and that sincerity. And then they would naturally engage with me. So it's normal to have these fears, but the more present you are to where you are now and how you want your life and how you want to present yourself, like focus more on what you actually want rather than the fear of um, what has held you back in the past, because you're a conscious creator like every day. So it's really important to be mindful of that power that you have, and that life is going to reflect to you what you believe. Okay, another question I had was, I'm terrified of being on a video. Who would care about what I have to say? So this kind of goes with my last point, is that you have to believe that what you have to share really matters before anyone else can care and place value on what you have to say. Because again, life reflects what you believe. So if you go into, let's say, a talk or a video, a Facebook Live, with that vibe that no one's going to care, people energetically will feel that sort of, so almost like a defeatist sort of energy. It's normal. Like I've struggled with that in the past, but it's really important to stay present to who you are today, who you want to continue to become, and place weight and value on what you have to say because you really believe it. Like you feel really passionate about it and you feel called to actually share it, right? In the spirit of service, rather than, it's an opportunity to be of service and to help other people rather than an opportunity to be ridiculed or not be validated, right? So it's like, this really requires you to be super mindful and attentive to your thoughts, and encouraging yourself to shift old stories and patterns that hold you back so you can show up from a place of presence now that serves you now, right? Okay, so this next question is kind of built on the last one. How do I believe in my message when I share, when I become more visible? What I want to share around this is, the more you can deeply believe in your message, because it's like you have a deep level of conviction around it, the more you'll resonate with the right people. You're not trying to resonate with everyone. You're just, the goal is to resonate with the right people that feel you. Because like I mentioned in the beginning of the live, people, energy doesn't lie. So people can feel your truth and your passion. So the more that you can give yourself permission to show up as you are from a place of self-acceptance and sharing from the spirit, in the spirit of service, people will feel that genuine quality in you. And again, the right people will want to learn and want to know more about your beliefs and how you help. And like I said, like the more you do that consistently, people tend to follow people they can identify with. And so I find the more that you can share, not only, again, your expertise, what you believe in, how you help, but also, other sides of you as a human being. Like, you have a dog, you like to cook, you like to go to yoga or take walks. I find like the people that I follow, I love the people that share the multi-dimensional sides of them. That way, that's who I want to learn from, is people that they are passionate about what they do, but they also have a life, right? And they have different interests. So that's always fascinating to me on how people live outside of their business. So keep in mind that how to believe in your message from a place of like clarity and conviction is just really giving yourself permission to speak from that place. People will feel your passion. If you really feel really passionate about it, again, focus more on your passion rather than how you fear other people are going to receive it. Because again, you have no control over that. Okay, another question that I had was, who can I learn from online, because it can get overwhelming with all the gurus and resources online to learn, right? It is overwhelming, right? If you can Google anything, right? So it's a blessing that we have so much information at our fingertips, but at the same time, it's like how do you discern what the right thing is for you? So what I do is I always recommend, I always talk about the turtle way, right? To create sustainable success, moving at your own pace, trusting your own instincts, and resting when necessary. It's like a whole holistic way of approach of creating success for you. But what's really important is to get clear on who you feel called to learn from, whether that be a person or just different trainings online. Is really get still, get clear, set an intention that what you want to learn, and then notice who pops up consistently, what programs pop up, what books, and then like from that stillness, I encourage you to trust your discernment. Trust, like, okay, is this the right thing for me? Is this the right thing for me now? This process really takes a lot of self-reflection and patience and deep trust in yourself. So it takes practice, but your discernment is going to show you what your right next step is. You don't have to try to figure everything out, but it's really important that you give yourself permission to ask for what you need, and then pay attention and listen for the signs. Synchronicities are not coincidences. If people or situations or messages come to you more than once, I find that that's life is talking to you, God, the universe, whatever you believe in. Synchronicities are not a coincidence, so pay attention to those signs. And so ultimately, who to learn from is you can feel who you resonate with on a deeper level. You can sense, like I always tell people, notice in your body how you feel when you're talking with someone. Let's say you're considering working with a mentor, like feel in your body, like, is there an expansion, like a lightness to how you feel with the idea of working with this person or potential clients? There still will be fear, but it's more of this lightness and expanded feeling, whereas that's more of a yes in your body, but like more of a no feels like more heavy, like it feels like a burden or a weight. So that's more of a no. And sometimes it's like neutral, you have no feeling, but I tend to feel like if there's no feeling, then it's probably a no as well. Could be a not yet, but you can feel when you're being pulled to an opportunity or a person, a program, like your next level of growth. You can feel that. And the last thing I want to share around this question is keep believing in your value and share consistently. The right people will want to follow you consistently and ultimately will want to work with you. But it takes consistency to put yourself out there. And there are ways you can do it so it still sustains your energy. You can just set a goal. I'll do 1 Facebook Live a week, and then ultimately you could work up to 3, but like allow this process to be curious about your process and let it unfold naturally, and give yourself credit as you put yourself out there, because I know it's it takes a lot of energy to do it consistently. But again, if you focus more on having fun and sharing from a place of like in the spirit of service, that's going to help recharge your energy, rather than worrying about getting your energy tangled up in like worrying about how you're being perceived, because then you're ultimately scattering your energy because you're trying to seek validation from things outside of you. So the more that you can um, tune in and feel aligned with yourself, then ultimately you can operate from a place of service with a sense of fullness, right? Instead of feeling like you're sharing from an empty cup, right? And you're just trying to like fill it up with external things, right? Okay, and let me see. The last question I got was, how do I manage all the attention that I get? Because this person was grateful for the attention, but it's just like too much. How do you manage that? So as you continue to be visible, you will build a following. And so it can be overwhelming when, a lot of people are wanting your attention. But what I found is having clear boundaries around how much time you're willing to give to engaging and networking, balancing that with what you actually need helps to keep you centered and grounded and helps you to preserve your energy, right? Like, so for example, if you have a talk and you set aside quiet time beforehand to really get grounded, and then you also tell yourself, okay, I'll give myself 45 minutes afterwards to network and chat with people after my talk. But after that, you're out. Like, then you're being really clear that that's all you can give to other people, rather than feeling pressured or guilty that I have to, give up so much of my time to help other people. Because really, at the end of the day, it needs to feel like a win-win, this exchange of value, not just you being of service, but you also receiving value yourself in the exchange of we're engaging with people. It's really a gift. It's like a two-way street. And so always like keep yourself in at the same level. It's always a win-win. It's not just you're giving and giving and giving and you ultimately feel depleted. It's really meant that the end goal is for you to give, and it actually gives you life. Like the idea of you helping other people actually gives you energy. That's the goal. It's taken me some time to cultivate that for me, but it is possible. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 8 years, and in the beginning, when I first started, it was terrifying to be visible because I had so much. I was so self-critical of myself. So the idea of other people being critical of me or even more critical felt like paralyzing. But what I realized is the more gentle and kind and patient I was with myself in my process and easing up on that pressure, then I allowed myself to be present to the process and actually enjoy the process, right, of sharing, rather than performing. Like I have to project a certain image and be perfect in order to get a certain result. It's more like I'm going to do my best and be present and share from my heart and be as as honest and clear as I can, to be in the spirit of service. And then that's all I can do. Like I have stopped like putting extra pressure or burden on me to be perfect and not give myself the grace to make mistakes or maybe not get results that I want. Everything's a process. So it's like I feel like it just does. In this Facebook Live, it's like I really encourage you to put a lot of time and energy in cultivating a loving, encouraging, patient, kind, gentle relationship with yourself. Give yourself the space and the grace to do a little bit each day. This turtle way is not about like you're gonna like be someone else tomorrow. It's about giving yourself the opportunity to practice and share a little bit each day. And then the more you practice, the better you'll be. Right now, it's comfortable for me to talk like this. It's really helpful. When I do this, how I've gain comfort in this is I think about one person. I think that I'm talking to one person. I'm not thinking about, I'm trying to talk to the whole internet. That's overwhelming. But the more I feel like I'm, imagining myself connecting heart to one person, that will translate to however many people watch this, right? So yeah, I hope this is helpful. If you have any other questions, you can tag me. If you watch the replay and you have some questions later, yeah, definitely tag me in our group, our Quiet Voice Speaking Back community. And if I'd love to know actually what your biggest takeaway is from this Facebook Live, like what really resonated with you most. And if you really need maybe deeper support and how to be more visible and share your brand and business in a way that really sustains you in your business, and you want to like reach a new level in your business, you just want clarity on your next steps, I invite you to schedule a complimentary discovery call with me. You can email me at info@dawningsoul.com, or you can send me a private message. But yeah, I'm happy to help. Like I said, give yourself some grace around this because it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there. It really, really does. And sometimes it requires you to be vulnerable and truthful. And so that's why I always, why I'm stressing that it's really important for you to take time to really build a strong foundation on how you relate to yourself from a place of encouragement and love and kindness and gentleness, this turtle way that I always speak about, because that's the foundation you're going to need in order to consistently put yourself out there one step at a time. And once you start planting these seeds with this consistency, you will reap a harvest. I promise you. The more seeds you plant, you're going to build momentum naturally. And there are people out there. There are people. What I've realized, there's people out there that do watch you, who may not comment, but you are making an impact. So you never know how you're impacting people's lives. Even if you don't really get a response that you want, you never know who's watching you, right? Especially on a consistent basis. So just keep doing what you're doing, and the right people will reach out. The right people will notice you, and you will get opportunities to share more about who you are, your story, and how you help. So, okay, that's it. I hope this was helpful. Again, tag me if you have any other questions on visibility, and maybe I'll do this regularly. I was kind of just paying attention to the comments that people were sharing, the new people were sharing as they joined the group. So tag me with any questions, and if you feel a pull to learn more on how to be supported, to be more visible and make a bigger impact with your brand and business, you can email me at info@dawningsoul.com or send me a private message. Okay, guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will chat with you next week. Bye, guys.